this is Stephanie, Talk Tales and Trivia. How are you this week of 2017? I'm doing fantastic. What is the appeal that makes amateur and professional photographers continue to take photos? Both the amateur and professional are great at capturing memories. Well, we all have our stories to tell about our lives. Pictures are the best and most effective way to tell our stories, I think. I know that I have seen many pictures, whether it be in magazines, on the internet, in a gallery, on a billboard, or at a friend's house, that have made me stop and look, sometimes for a second and sometimes a little longer. The people, person, or event in the picture is so strong and powerful, and just by looking at that one picture, a story unfolds about that time, capturing that time. These stories can be happy or sad, or any other emotion in between the two. Yes, sometimes even bringing completely different emotions, feelings, and even interpreting the picture differently, depending on who is looking at the picture. As I have suggested in past episodes, these emotions and feelings towards certain pictures all depends on experiences and influences that everyone has when they were young and going through their informative years. That is why everyone sees the world differently. And that is precisely why everyone sees pictures as being different, special, time capsules, if you will. But for me, pictures were never really wonderful. Not really special. No. Partly because from as far back as I can remember, I always had a camera in my face. Yes, capturing those memories were important. If there was a birthday party, there was a camera. If we went on family vacation, there was a camera. If we were in Halloween costumes, there was the camera. Christmas morning, camera. Playing in the snow, camera. No event in particular, camera. Well, no pun intended really, but you get the picture. We had a lot of memories all piled up. Back then was so different than now, of course, for so many reasons. Mostly, we know why. The digital age, the internet, it makes it so easy to capture an emotion, a feeling, just like that. Those darn pictures that amateur photographers were taking back then would have been rejected, deleted, and would never see the light of day in today's technological world. You see, back then, pictures could be made into slides, ready to be viewed on a slide projector. And so it was that every so often, as I got older, that slide projector came out and I viewed the memories captured on film. I didn't like posing for pictures, but I sure liked having them to look at. Years and years, and still more years, of pictures of us growing up in different neighborhoods, houses, seasons changing, the whole shebang was there on film. Film, a word that is not even, well, barely, in our vernacular anymore. Which now brings me to a memory. Not exactly a tale, but almost. Let's all go back 12 years ago when I was in my last semester of college. I waited until my last semester of college hoping it would go away. It didn't. You see, to graduate, I had to take a black and white darkroom photography class. Let me say that again. A black and white darkroom photography class. That doesn't even sound like a thing. Especially because it just didn't seem relevant even back in 2004. Yes, even back then I questioned their relevancy. Being of what I thought was sound mind and body, I asked myself, why? What was the purpose? I couldn't find the purpose, except that, well, it was the only thing that was holding me back from graduating. The only thing. So I stood in the dark room with trays of chemicals and solutions with other students I didn't know and, by the way, had really bad body odor, trying not to show my anger and frustration. As it turned out, I wasn't very good at holding in my contempt for the last class I needed to graduate. But in the end, I did graduate. And now I find something very interesting that perhaps you may have noticed too. Life is cyclical. Almost everything that once was gets at least a second chance. An interesting article on the Photographer page indicates darkroom resurgence. The article states, "It is not every day that you hear about new darkroom facilities being built at universities or anywhere else. In fact, it is quite the opposite, with many being shut down for lack of use or poor conditions. But that may start to change, or at least it is at Deakin University, where film's recent comeback of sorts has inspired the construction of brand new darkroom facilities for their photography students." Well, I am perplexed at this development. And now, just yesterday, I saw on the website petapixel.com, courtesy of the Flipboard app, that there is now something called LabBox, that's LAB-BOX, that lets you develop your film at home without a darkroom. I could have really used that invention back in 2004. I guess the 35mm film is back once again, resurging, but this time developing it is less scary. No darkroom. And with LabBox, it's more convenient. Perhaps I'll try it again. But probably not. Why turn the clock backwards on this one? Well, I mentioned earlier how life is cyclical, so perhaps the memories of a darkroom, chemicals, clamps, and line drawing photographs are fond tasks and memories for some. With high-definition cameras on our phones and apps such as Facetune, which I love, to help our pictures look beautiful, what would be the exact point? For me, I'm doing just fine finally getting around to downloading my pictures and putting them into frames, which I thought I would never see myself doing. And last, but certainly not least, I actually am excited to see that the Polaroid camera is popular once again. Now on to the selfie. Let's not forget the selfie. Or rather, please do forget the selfie. I would love to leave you with this quote by Ansel Adams, the great photographer. "You don't make a photograph just with a camera. You bring to the act of photography all the pictures you have seen, the books you have read, the music you have heard, the people you have loved." We here at Talk Tales and Trivia would love to know how you feel about photography. Do you take pictures? And how? You can reach us at talktalesandtrivia@gmail.com, and you can go to talktalesandtrivia.com where you can get the show notes about this episode, as well as listen to past episodes. We have a brand new website, and it is fantastic and so easy to use. So be sure to check it out. That is it for this episode, and we will see you next week for another fine episode. Our research team is working on it right now. See ya!